Welcome to Racing, Pacing, Chasing. It is the pacing segment now, Season 2, Episode 31. I'm Aaron Bain, joined by Rocky Butterworth. Welcome, mate.
Hello, mate. How are you?
We are here again tonight at the General Havelock Hotel. Great place to film. Lovely setting. Jason Fay, GM here. Great little supporter of the Racing, Pacing, Chasing community.
He's ready to come on board with quite a few of his hotels, so that's great.
Yeah, no, looking forward to that. Now, we also must thank the Gawler and Kapunda Harness Racing Clubs for supporting the pacing show. Also, Stephen Norman, we reported that we'd be at Gawler this week to catch up with Stephen because he's come on board Allenby Lodge stud as a new partner of Racing, Pacing and Chasing, but he'll join us next week.
Yep.
Couldn't make it this week, so we look forward to chatting about his number one sire, Major Secret, and how the season's shaping up for him and some of his progeny just starting to hit the ground as well from last season. So,
well, now that we've got a vested interest
yeah, we are.
Secret, mate, for next year. I'm looking forward to the...
You've had to cough up your money, so...
I have. All to what I think will be a very...
When you walked into the stable one day, I thought I'd get you as an owner, but I'd never get you as a breeder, but I've got us both now.
Yep, no worries at all. I mean, I've always been impatient with the horses. I just wanted to go to the races.
Yeah.
And breeding them, or sometimes even buying yearlings. The year was too long. Now I'm way back there, breeding stage of pregnancy, foaling, watching it grow, breaking in. So I might go around to actually watch it.
I know one thing's for sure. I'll have a good grandma die. I'll be out there every day, won't it?
Yeah, she'll be there. She'll be at the birth.
Anyway, we also must thank our Platinum Program partner, Air Diffusion Agencies. A great little spread here we do, and Billy and his family. We thank them for jumping on board and their support as well. Right, we've got two special guests tonight. Three, you could say. We've got part two of the Graham Fischer interview, so we've got to get through our nonsense that we talk week in, week out, that people continue to watch for some reason. And we're joined by two very special guests.
Who are they?
It is the time. You've called it last week, and they've answered the call. You're going to present the Spoggy Cup to Andrew Benz and Jason Adams.
How's the trophy?
Beautiful, isn't it?
Nearly broke our budget.
I hope you went to Southern Trophies at Lonsdale.
I did.
That's great. Now, they'll be on set a little bit later, so we're looking forward. They have come in to claim the prestigious trophy.
Yep.
Now, Fish, we look forward to his part two as well.
Well, so's he. Because he would have forgotten by now what he said last week. So he needs a bit of a catch-up on that. So I'm sure Fish, you're looking forward to part two. And back to winning for about 5 weeks, he said.
Who?
Fish.
Yeah,
usually not a bad little punter. Yeah. And he said he's as desperate as a goldfish in a leaky bag.
You know what he should do? Follow Leroy.
He should follow Leroy.
Rocky, it's time to get serious.
Yep.
Cut the crap.
Let's go.
Rumour or humour?
Well,
it's time.
Everyone's picked up on this one already.
HRSA on the move to Port Adelaide to cheaper digs.
Yep.
Rumour or humour? Well, it's obviously factual.
That's happening, that they're moving. We're not treating this one as a rumour. It's fact. But it's just something I wanted to bring up with you. As it was broken by Paul Courts in National Trot Guide yesterday, that HRSA are hoping to save 40 to 50%, which I'm reliably informed will amount to about 20 to 30,000 K a year. So that amount doesn't help the stakeholders straight away with prize money or anything like that. So what's your thoughts on the surplus? What do they do? Do they save it for 5 years and get 100,000? Do they spend it somewhere else? I mean, everything in the bottom line is great, but where does it go?
I think it's a good move. I think they're protecting their future a little bit as well with the uncertainty, or not the uncertainty, but I don't think moving away from there's a bad thing.
No.
And unfortunately for the Globe Derby, people have always got too used or familiar of dropping in and grabbing the fields. Times are changing,
Yep.
And you're seeing that more and more with COVID as well. The need for cut back on offices and spending.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I don't, I really haven't got a comment on how you do the $20,000 or $30,000 a year. There'd be a plan, but I'd rather save $20,000 or $30,000 a year than spend it. So whatever they do with it, they'll be spending it better than they do currently.
Oh, well, I've been banging on about it for 2 years. My location was Mawson Lakes, but for no reason except that that's almost our hub of harness racing. All the people head into those.
I haven't seen the location. Are you aware? Is it road frontage? Is it?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of boardroom space down at Port Adelaide that's vacant.
The only thing I would say, if it was a prominent spot, is it time to just glam up? I know it's only late,
without
there's a lot of traffic that goes through there.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
They've got to.
Anyway, second one.
Yep.
Rumour or humour? Port Pirie last night.
Well, I didn't go, mate, but...
Sorry, I shouldn't say not the Port Pirie Club, but the decision to attend the meeting.
That's right. But the rumour that came back to me last night, and you were there, so you can...
It's the only meeting I've been to for 3 months.
Oh, I know.
Got called off.
So it's rained out at 2 minutes before race one, say, going in the parade ring, getting out of the track. So 10 minutes probably. And it was purely because the mobile was a bit dodgy on takeoff.
Yep.
My question to that straight away is, how does that happen 10 minutes before the first?
Yeah.
If it's been raining for most of the day.
It was raining since 11 o'clock.
So had the mobile been tested prior to that or not? Do you know?
Yeah, the mobile wouldn't. I think the mobile obviously comes from Adelaide. So, but there's other vehicles up there that could be tested.
Yeah.
I think there were certainly a lot of disappointed people, and probably no more frustrated than the Port Pirie Harness Racing Club as well.
You're right.
They pride themselves on holding a meeting up there. The only comment I'll make, Rock, is that the banana milkshake was good at Port Waverford on the way home.
Was it?
All the trip was worth.
I was busy elsewhere, mate. Otherwise, I was going as well, so that would have been a waste.
Anyway,
but it's just, clubs can't afford to lose meetings. Port Pirie tries so hard to make it a good event on the night. I've said to you, I think it's the best food that you can get in the state, and they're always very friendly. So bad luck.
I love their Port Pirie cheeseburger. It's just great, and the hot dog roll, beautiful. I'll be missing it. Anyway. Time now for news, brews and barbecues. Right, thanks to Ranvet, new partner on board, as we've reported in recent weeks. Lisa Justice and her team, they bring us news, brews and barbecues. We've got a little bit of general news, and then the brews and barbecues. We're going to call on Andrew Benz and Jason Adams to collect their trophy this week, and then we'll have part 2 of the Graham Fischer interview, so stick around. But, Rocky, news, let's get straight into it.
There was another chance for it, mate, this week.
No, I'm glad it wasn't.
Why?
Because they had their chance last week.
We're speaking about
Lochinvar
versus Ride High.
Tell me why, right? You and David Moran, right, and he's right, not to race this week.
He can race wherever he wants to.
Yeah. So can Ride High.
There is just so many people involved with harness racing, and they've got a promotion in their hands that needs to happen sooner than later before the interest starts to wane.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Whose corner are you? After you've seen Lochinvar go around last week,
yeah.
Ride High's got to be as good as he's ever gone this week to win from where it's drawn in the Smoking Up sprint.
He's still better.
You're in Ride High's corner.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be in Lochinvar's corner.
Yep.
It'll come down a lot to draws.
It will.
Be
Ride High has drawn 11 in this race.
Yep.
11 out of 11. And it's not going to be a super easy task. He comes out behind Sicario, had great form last year. I think he even raced in a minute.
Yeah.
And he comes out okay. I watched the replay this morning and of his last run, and he came out okay. He sat 3 wide and had to ease back a bit. But I'm not sure if Ride High has to settle in the last 2 or even last, as everyone seems to be thinking. I think he can be a couple closer than that. And then if he gets his speed...
No, he certainly wins this week, I think, and I'm looking forward to the clash next week in Victoria Cup.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. In other local news, the 7-race program this Saturday night.
Yep.
Best race on the program's it's probably one of the smallest fields. So I'm excited about the Paula 2-year-olds coming through. I think a comment was made on Sunday at the trials that, and even our pool of 2-year-old and 3-year-olds are probably, although only small, got some of the best 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds we've had in the state for a long time.
It's quality. It's a remix of last week, if you like. There's only one missing.
The winner. She was impressive.
And she was. Let's talk about that in a minute. I know what you're going to. I actually meant to put that in this week.
I've just put it in a minute.
But artillery was fantastic first half to do that kind of work in the breeze and just get beat. But you're right. The 2-year-olds, they can be a different winner each week at the moment. There's just metres between 5 or 6 of them. It's fantastic. Don't care if you see the same horses going around. There's still a bet to be had there somewhere.
The only concern I have is what the Southern Cross heats look like. Now, yes, there's going to be a couple come from interstate, but there's currently not enough 2-year-olds to run a fillies and a Colts and Geldings heat. There'll be a prelude, but I don't see, and there'll be some come out of the woodwork in the next month, 6 weeks. I'm just a little concerned about our pool, and I'll stick to the fact I said on the show 3 weeks ago, the sooner, and I even saw Rob Caruso at the fodder store the other day. He agreed with me. The money needs to be put into these young horses. I'll give you 2 examples here. Yes, I stick by it. Race the 2-year-olds and the 3-year-olds for your $9,000 and $10,000 and put them on whether they're happening with 5 or 6 in it. They do it in the gallops. Do it in the trots. Put faith back into the breeder. That's where the money is. Pay the top echelon, the free-for-all pacers and trotters. The claimers, your next tier down, they race for your 5 and 5, 7s, right? They take a lot of money to upkeep. Those middle tier horses will go around week in, week out. So pay them accordingly because they'll have a chance to earn. Your money needs to be in your young horses to continue bring them through. Good example, I think there's 2 very nice 2-year-olds going around. One returns this week. Couldn't have been more impressive at the trial, Sir Roman. I think he's a very good chance of returning in form, and I think he's back better than he was last after going for a split fish trial. Sir Lucas, he's a rating 70, 71 following his win on Saturday night. As good a win as good as he's gone. Like, very, very good win up against Open Company. Or not Open Company, taking that next step. Yes, he has a 5-point concession 3-year-old claim, and horses like him under the new system work. He's hit the 70, which is effectively free for all. Winning $35,000, possibly $40,000 with an SA bonus. And he's gone from a 3-year-old to free for all company, only winning that. That doesn't seem right.
It's not right.
And you feel for the connections because he's a very, very nice horse. But December 30 is that the end of the road for him in SA? And that's no disrespect to the horse, or is that his future in a Sydney, in a Queensland, in a Victoria? What does it look like for Sir Lucas when he comes off the 3-year-old concession and rating and he has to race Ellmers Hoofing?
No, I agree with you. Haven't spoken about that before, and that's probably one of the most intelligent things you've come up with, mate. It works well, and particularly that middle tier, there might be people that say, don't worry about us. Well, we are, but the other people that can race, if there's 3 meetings, they'll
race twice, 2 of the 3 a week.
And if it's down as low as 4,500, when you're racing,
they take their points accordingly. Pay for where the price is.
2-year-olds are so important for us now.
100%. And the concerning part is, I'm worried what we'll see at Southern Cross time shortly. Anyway, it's time to go to Brews and Barbecues. We said we'd keep it pretty short because we've got a couple of segments to get through. Let's go to a break. We'll be back next with Andrew Bands and Jason Adams to present the Spoggy Ellmer Cup. And it's time now for Brews and Barbecues. We've got the news this week on racing, pacing and chasing, but Rocky, you said last week it was time to make the presentation. We called the Mercy rule early.
We did. We called the Mercy. 7 out of 8. Fantastic effort by the group at Ellmer.
Team Ellmer.
And
they've made their way into the show.
And we put, Spoggy's had to go to the paddock. He's shattered. He was 2 weeks away from a psychiatrist, poor old Spoggy. So the good thing that Louis has done is whacked him out in the paddock. We'll call the Mercy rule because Joe's a character. If he keeps trying really hard to beat him as well, he'll end up a fruitcake as well.
And the other one, we should introduce our 2 special guests to come to the trophy, Andrew Benz and Jason Adams. Welcome, guys.
Good on you, boys.
They've had a late challenger rock up this week to the party, but the trophy's over. Emo Macca returns to the race on Saturday night, but
we might start a new one. We'll find a name for the new one that... got to find some participants as well. Because it's a prestigious award, mate. We don't want just rippers coming in. You broke it, have you, mate?
Yeah, there we go. We've even gone and got it printed as well.
Yeah,
that's the Ellmers Spoggy Cup 2020, won by Ellmers Hoofing. So you've even got it engraved, right?
Yep.
There you go, boys.
Thanks, fellas. For that.
Now we must get into the serious business while we've got you on to talk about the champ or so Andrew, we'll start with you. He's obviously gone for a little rest, I believe. Or is he heading out for a short spell?
Out in the spell now.
Out for a spell now.
Holly Alkins.
Yeah. So 7 of 8. Talk us through that when you sort of take us back through when you set eyes on this horse and how he came about.
I set eyes on him probably 3 or 6 months before we bought him.
Yeah.
I actually was looking for one for my dad because he's pushing 80 and he's been in the game like his whole life, and my grandpa was a bookie, so he's been in the game his whole life, and I wanted to have a decent one for my dad, so and then we wanted to have a decent one, and its form had good form behind good horses in Melbourne, running fourths and thirds behind Leonidas and horses like that. So it had a knee issue. People were a bit scared of that, but did our homework on that and got the all clear on that.
I was just going to touch on, so he's obviously had a few leg problems of time, but he's holding up touchwood pretty well at the moment.
Bit of scar tissue there.
Yeah.
Hasn't seemed to bother him. They got the op done. He had a little bit of time off. We noticed that he missed racing for about 12 months.
Yeah.
But, made a few phone calls, spoke to a lot of people that actually drove him, and they said, look, it hasn't seemed to bother him at all. So thought he was just the right horse to buy.
Yeah, and sort of since coming here, obviously the one defeat, but I think did he pull up with a foot abscess after that? Like he didn't look 100%. A lap out, he was head bobbing.
He wasn't right.
Yeah, you could just tell a lap out that he was in trouble, but so he really should have been 8 from 8, and that's you're probably more than you expected when getting him here.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, like that night there too, I think they top surfaced the track, and I think most people know that nothing really made ground that night for mine. So I think he done a pretty good effort. Only just get beat that night, and he come back and he proved himself the following week.
So where to for now? So he's going out for a couple of weeks, and then obviously be set for the SA Cup and the Country Cups here.
That's the plan. Yeah.
If they open the border again, he'll be over to Mildura. If they run the $20,000 race.
So
hopefully they open that soon for all harness racing. Be good for harness racing again. Yeah,
no, I'd like to just see a little corridor open up there just to let us through a bit.
Nice, just to be able to get some other horses over there too. So they race for good money over there, and
the Vic Breds.
That's right. And if you've got one that has got a bonus left in them, and at least you might have to actually send it to another person as you go.
100%. It's hard work.
I reckon Brad Abbott made a little bit of a mistake when he got Ellmer into his stable, because he's a trainer of Don Boston, who he likes to get running, and was doing a really good job for him, but he was just about done in the free-for-all class and had to move over to the claiming races. And I'm sure, because he hadn't had him for about
10 days.
Yeah, he worked him for 3 or 4 weeks and then put him into serious work. And I'm pretty sure he thought he was going to be his next Don Boston, and one run in a claimer.
And the boys swooped.
Thanks. Big part to Dave Moran for that too. He gave us. We had a good chat with him. He drove him before and after the knee. So he said he was a better horse after the knee op.
And he compared it to Lochinvar, right?
Yeah.
different rope.
Rope on the back and.
Now we've got to bring it a bit of fun. We've got to throw a bit of shit at this man over here.
Me?
Yeah. Before his first start, Jace, I reckon there was a fair bit to say on social media. Did he not say? Now we can turn into the barbecue here. We can barbecue it. Did he or not say, I don't know how he'll stand up to this form? And I looked at him dumbfounded.
He actually said, I don't think he's up to free-for-all class.
Exactly what he said. Yeah.
And I think after the second week, I sent him a message saying, is he a free-for-all horse now? And I think he had to bite his lip then. So.
But in my defence, that was back when he had those injuries and things going on.
Just say sorry, Rock. Just say sorry to the two men.
I said sorry in 64. Ever say it again?
If you don't think running fourth to Lochinvar Arts are free for all right.
Yeah. No. I love the horse, mate. I think he's terrific, and I wish we had him. But just I'm saying, at that stage, he might have had a few injury concerns, which you've spoken about, and it was a risk that you had to take to pay that money. And bloody good on you for that.
And John's done a real good job with him too. He really loves the horse, and he puts a lot of time into him, and he gets all the little nitty-gritties and looks after him, and you can't take nothing away from John. He does a tremendous job.
We thought your brakes didn't work on the float. I think you just went a little bit too far when you dropped him off.
Credit to John. He's it's good to see him back in the game.
Yeah.
He's obviously trained 100 winners in the season before. You probably picked out well there, and we've probably had a relationship with him before, but
actually, me and John, I never really had much to do when I trained horses myself. I just looked at John. I thought, he done a real good job with his horses. He presented them well. he was the man to beat back in those days. And like I said to Andrew, I said, we really want this horse to go to a smaller stable where he does get a lot of one-on-one time, and instead of just being a number, get him in, get him out, get him worked. So, that was the decision that we both agreed to.
Now John's found his passion back again.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So now, and the thing as well is we invest the money back into harness racing. So I
was going to say,
sit on it. We've got like eight.
I was going to say you've turned him from a small stable back to a medium stable, and he's heading towards a big stable the way you blokes are going.
That's what he wants. Actually, he said if he's going to do it properly, and we said we'd back him. So
So pretty much all our prize money from Ellmers has just gone back into other horses.
That's excellent.
And getting other people involved in the game as well.
Yeah,
that's a rule in this.
I'm told that's a rule. Boss.
No,
so you coke every now and then and keep the prize money. Another one.
No, but appreciate you coming in tonight, guys. It is a credit to yourselves, and we wish you all the best of luck. We do follow him. He's mentioned on every show, whether he's racing or not.
That's right.
And fair bit of banter with the Spoggy side of the cup, but it's over for this year, and maybe it resume next year. But all the best as we head into the summer months, and when you return from a spell for the Country Cups and the SA Cup. Hopefully you can
good.
Yeah. Quick shout out to Taylor as well.
Yeah.
Jon Kingston, Mayne's partner.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work too. So make sure we get her a mention.
Good team there. All the best, and thanks for coming in. Enjoy the trophy, and have another Scotch and Coke, mate, and celebrate.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
This will be up next with Leroy the Lizard. You won't want to miss it this week. He's on fire. That was a bit of fun there, Rock. Always.
Well, winners are always good.
I just off the barbecue when I threw it to you and you didn't know.
No idea.
Hey? Now, before we go into the Fishers interview, can I just throw one little segment in there, which I want in the show each week?
What's that?
I want the drive of the week brought back. I know we did it on a point system. I don't think we're going to replay tonight, but in future we're going to do a drive of the week. Without a doubt, Ryan O'Horick Dancing Fin. If that wasn't 12 out of 10, now the horse is class, you know that.
1 by 4 inches, mate.
Right? If Ryan pulled the right rein when he did pull the left and had come wide, it doesn't win.
Yep.
It continues on its winning form, 12 out of 10.
Yeah, I watched that replay 3 or 4
zigged when
times, and he is so confident when he knows what he's got under him.
Yeah.
And that drive, I think that's why.
It was interesting. In the trial the week before, Artillery beat Dancing Fin.
Yeah.
Artillery would have beat Dancing Fin again if it wasn't for Ryan's drive.
Yeah.
Dad he does a bit of track attendant work on the track, and he was in the car and he was following him around, so he was sort of a couple of meters behind him. And he watched the move, he was saying he watched it from behind, and it'd just be amazing, not amazing. I said, it'd actually be a good viewing from watching that behind where he's gone, I'm not going wide, I'm coming in. That's why he's one of our best. I reckon, Wayne and Danny, great drivers, but Ryan's still tactically the best.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we'll do though, mate, before we start it, and hopefully by next Wednesday, I'll get a sponsor for the drive of the week, so they do get a reward each week, whether it's a voucher or whether it's
meal voucher or something.
Something like that. We'll make sure that our drive of the week doesn't just get a pat on the back from us.
You got a bit of homework this week.
Yep.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Right.
Time now for part 2 of the Graham Fischer interview. Stick around. We'll be back after that with Leroy the Lizard. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss Leroy the Lizard.
Welcome back to the part 2 of the Graham Fischer interview, the transition from Wayville to Globe Derby. Lots more to discuss with Fish, and look forward to bringing it to you. Now, mate, there's a thing about reporters that people around our age just picture all the time. Your uniform was at the little hat with the with the press sticker in the
That's a funny thing you said that, because when I started, and this would have been in the late 60s, early 70s, Kevin Sattler, as the racing editor at the time, he enforced that the copy boys, or the cadets rather, that went to the races had to wear a hat.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first ones that rebelled and said, no, I don't want to wear a hat. So that was where it changed. Yeah.
And what about, you used to,
I never smoked either for the ashtray.
so the ashtray was
no,
never there, mate.
no, not for me.
What about ripping it out and just shouting out copy? Did you do that as well, like they do in the movies?
No. Some did. There were some theatrical people that would do that, but no, not me. I'm pretty laid back and quiet.
And Jack Rowe, obviously, he had a reputation. And as a young fella, you used to catch a ride with him to Globe a few times. Any stories there?
I've got a couple. I'll give you two about Jack Rowe. One was at Wavell.
Yeah.
And it was a November or December, but we'd had a bit of a heat wave.
Yeah.
And it had been really, really hot. And anyway, there was a race one night, and Dick Webster was driving a horse called Regal Boy, and it got a rails run. There was no sprint lane, but it got a rails run that came through on the inside. And anyway, these four horses went across the line together, and Jack said, Regal Boy's won. And everyone said, you reckon it got there? Yep, it won for sure. So anyway, the photo came up and it's run second, got beaten a short half head. So Jack said, no, it won. I'm right, it won. He said, the camera's out of alignment because of the heat wave. So he wasn't going to take no for an answer. He'd won. But probably the saddest story with Jack, and something that was one of the scariest moments of my life, is we were driving from town to go out to Globe Derby one night. And anyway, we got out on O'Connell Street and pulled up at the 10th Street lights because the lights were red.
Yeah.
And there was just the two of us in the car, and I was sitting there, I don't know what I was doing, just thinking about something, and then all of a sudden the car took off, and I looked up and the lights were still red. And I thought, geez, what's happening here? And I looked across, and Jack had a stroke.
Gee.
Driving the car, and somehow we managed to we were very lucky that there were no cars coming the other way or going across. So we've got across the intersection, and somehow we got the car into the gutter, to the gutter, parked the car, and
So he was conscious at this
stage?
stage?
He was conscious, but he couldn't speak, couldn't talk, and so I realised that he was having a stroke or something was going on, having a heart attack or something. So I went bolting off to a delicatessen, which was about 20 yards down the road, and went in and said to, can I borrow your phone? I want to call an ambulance. The guy I'm with is having a heart attack or a stroke or something. And the bloke said, there's a payphone around the corner. You better go and get a payphone.
So if you're not buying 20 cents worth of chips, you're using his phone.
No, that's it. So anyway, we got the ambulance, and fortunately he was only having a stroke, but which was bad enough as it was.
Yeah.
Actually at the time, he told me that he'd written down that his wife was at the pictures watching some film in town. So I rang the picture theatre to try and get him to alert her that he'd had a stroke, but they wouldn't do anything because they said we don't want to disturb the other patrons. So they had to wait till interval or something to get hold of her to let her know that he'd had a heart attack. He was going to hospital.
Now, mate, on a serious note, because you've been around for so long and you've been at Globe Derby since inception, put you on the spot. Think back, what was the top 5 horses that you actually saw live at Globe Derby? Can you reel those off?
Yep. I think one of the best ones I saw, and it's the race that I'll always remember, was Pride of Petite winning the Inter-Dominion in 97.
Yep.
Where, she was last by Norman's Gate, and, against the best trotters in Australasia. Yeah. And she's got up and caught up and won, which unfortunately...
And she was a pony.
Yeah, unfortunately that's on YouTube, so you can actually see the race. It's
so that'd be number 1?
Yeah, she'd probably be 1. Mary's Idol was just such a wonderful trotter as well. We'll never forget the time that he had his first start at Globe Derby, and Ron Paps was calling the race, and he broke 3 times, and Ron said, well, he can't possibly win, and he still did. Still got up and won. Popular Arm and Gamelite, they were 2 great horses about the same time.
Totally different.
Yeah, well, they were. And Gamelite, of course, won 4 SA Cups in a row, which, that will never happen again.
Yeah.
Smoking Up got 3, but you just couldn't do 4.
Yeah.
And interestingly, that Popular Arm had his first start in the South Australian Derby.
Yeah, he did.
And he was backed off the map,
and
he put up a huge performance, but he got beaten by Gamelite in the Derby. So
that's where it all started for those two.
Yeah, and Smoking Up, I think, was an House of Ancelot. They were other wonderful horses.
Yeah.
That, and they were the times when the Grand Circuit horses and the better 3-year-olds came to South Australia. They came here, yeah.
I mean, a lot of them stayed with Jack Bashara too.
Yep.
He was
Brian Hancock, he always stayed there.
Yeah, and a lot of the West Australian boys.
Yeah.
What about the best SA horses you've seen, mate?
Well, one of my favourites was Deep Court, and I'm sure Jill Nielsen will be happy to hear that. But Deep Court, Adios Court, Cassius Court, they were wonderful horses. A bit of a story about Deep Court. He was in a Miracle Mile, and anyway, it was 20-1, and the favourite was a horse called Mount Eden.
Yep.
And I didn't know how good Mount Eden was, and so I backed Deep Court at 20-1, and only a field of 6. But so I thought, well, he'll run first or second. If Mount Eden's any good, he'll run second.
Yeah.
So when they start, and Mount Eden's bungled the start, and it's 50 metres behind the field, and Deep Court's lobbed in the death seat.
Yeah.
And being a strong horse, I thought, well, that's exactly where I
want
wanted. That's where I want him to be. And well, blow me, Mount Eden's just gone around the field easily. It's just an amazing performance. One of the, just something that everyone keeps talking about.
Yeah.
Deep Court ran third.
Yeah.
So I didn't get my
So you
money.
get your money, mate. Now, mate, things have changed a fair bit over the last 25 years. Not all of it's been fantastic for harness racing, let's be honest there. Have you got any ideas of what little things that don't cost a lot of money we can do to get the profile up a bit and to make it look a bit more professional? Have you got any ideas on that?
Well, I think one of the things is the dress code, and I know it's been spoken about from time to time. And actually, Ross Neal, when he first came here, one of the things he said was that he wanted to try and improve the dress code, but sadly, in my opinion, it hasn't improved all that much. And back.
So you're talking like the polo shirts we wear for here.
Yeah, polo shirts. Yeah,
and
that's exactly right. And like when Wavell was around, all the drivers, everyone used to go wearing suits.
Well, they still do it with thoroughbreds.
And even to this day, until he passed, Alan Smith always came dressed with a tie and everything. So so that's one thing I think that because if people go out to the trots, you want to people respond if they see the participants all looking quite neat and tidy and whatever. So that's one thing. And
do you think that's the impression of that's where we've got to? That's just who we are and concede defeat a bit, or can we change that?
Well, I think it can be changed. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It just means that when you get ready to go to the trots on Saturday night, you actually put a T-shirt on like that, polo short, and a pair of slacks.
Yeah.
That's not that hard.
And it'll sharpen it up.
It's not that hard.
I actually agree with you. I think in the parade ring that people like to see that, we take pride in what we're doing. And just finally, mate, any thoughts on ideas to help fix the industry of what we're going through in this carnage at the moment of he said, she said, and the fighting that goes on? Any ideas of, again, on a cheaper way, how we can help fix what we're doing?
Well, I think one of the things is to try and develop a theme night, and I think it's a good idea. We've had the value added nights.
The $10,000 nights.
There's one this week, isn't
This
it?
weekend, yeah.
I didn't know. I haven't seen anything, but I heard.
Yeah, see that? Yeah.
So that's one thing. The one thing that, because I've come from a media background, I think that I just get annoyed and really disappointed that we don't really go to the mainstream media and try and because back in the day there would always be a story about trots in the paper.
Yeah.
And now if you see a story in the paper, it's one that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate thing.
That's a good point.
And I think like I used to work with Jon Casey. I'm sure I could go to Jon Casey, and somebody from HRSA could go to Jon Casey and say, look, how about we get a harness story in the news service on a one of the weeknights, once a month. You don't expect it every day of the week or every week, but if you get it once a month to start with, and then try and build it up to two a month, and you could get it. You'd have to work with the club a bit, but you put signage down the back straight for Channel 7, and
they're my thoughts exactly. That contra deals are the easiest to set up as long as they feel like they're getting something back for their investment, and it's not costing a cash outlay. Everybody wins, and I think it's an easy way to do it.
I think also, they could go to the advertiser. We had a bit of an arrangement with the advertiser for a while. That seems to have dropped off. But again, the advertiser to me seems to have picked the ball up a bit with racing, certainly in the last couple of weeks. So why don't we get involved? Why doesn't harness racing go and see the advertiser and say, let's have a story a week?
Yep.
I can't. Whether it's a preview or a review, I can't see why not. And we've got enough people and characters in harness racing, successful people that, their story deserves to be told. I've said it before, and Danny Hill, it's just an amazing story that, there should be a film made about her.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Well, mate, we could keep on talking, but we'll cut it down there. And thanks for coming in.
No.
Always good to get the views of the older generation, and you pushing your 80s, mate. That's nice of you. Nice of you.
You said doing at the start. I knew that meant old.
Well, it's nice that you found your way in from Fairview Park, and I wish you luck getting home.
Well, that's it. Is the buses still running? Can I catch the bus? Actually, one thing I'd like to say, the trots have always been popular with South Australians. And, we're talking about Wavell earlier, but people that used to go to Wavell, Sir Garfield Sobers, when he played cricket for South Australia, he was always there. Barry Robran was always there.
Yeah.
Bob Hammond, the late Bob Hammond, because his father had harness horses, and so did Barry, got involved through that as well. John Hawkes, another South Australian, he was always there. So it's always been a sport where people love to go there. I can remember one of the Indian Dominions, Mark Prosciutto was in the press room.
Yeah.
So people love the trot.
They do, no doubt.
You've just got to give them a product that is presentable, that they want to go.
Yep. All right, mate, good on you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Rock.
Good on you.
Cheers.
Right, time now for Leroy the Lizard. I drove up past his home last night, Rob.
Yep.
I have never seen bigger renovations go on in the town of Crystal
Halfway through.
Unbelievable. Do you know, this is no word of a lie, the Crystal Brook turn-off, you missed it last night because you didn't come with it.
Yeah.
I actually had to drive under this golden archway. I thought it was Yamba,
Was it finished? He's on
the
fire.
home of Leroy.
And then he had nothing to pay for it. Then he's gone for Simon.
He was down and out.
He's back. And you know what happened?
What?
School holidays, mate.
What happened to him? No, what's he done?
Well, Simon got him cashed up,
Yeah.
right? So he gave me a quick call and said, listen, at school holidays, I'm going to do something with the kids. And I said, that's good, mate. Have a nice time. He told the kids he was taking them to Waterworld, right?
So
They lob on my doorstep.
Your doorstep?
Yeah. So the kids are thinking Gold Coast and Leroy's thinking Rock Resort.
Right.
So that's where they've lobbed. So that my pool, tennis court and games room are now under quarantine. Not for COVID. My mind did wander a bit too far with the pool business and stuff like that. I just didn't want to think about that, but I did. So they're in quarantine.
Yeah.
He still had time to find one.
He did?
Yeah. Race one against, I reckon he's just grabbing the form guide and going to race one.
Well, he doesn't have to look any further. He's on fire.
Yeah. And he's gone for change up.
Yep.
Follows the speed, puts itself in the race, hits the line. He's on.
Where will he be next week?
Well, he's still going to be in my
14-day quarantine.
14-day quarantine. My dog kennel with all his
Wonders
friends.
if he gets beat.
Is it your joint?
He won't have money to get home.
He's at your joint, mate.
No, he's not.
I've already told him.
Horses to follow. Leroy, hope you get us out of trouble.
Righto, horses to follow. Quickly this week, we were half right last week with Ruthless Armbro and Solar Sonic. Great win by Rob Caruso's horse, mate, and he'll keep racing really well. He keeps drawing really well with the grade that he's in. Yeah, it's got the gate speed now, and Solar Sonic looked sore, and he was
Always at it.
There was a few faster ones there when Solar Sonic was spinning around at his top speed, mate. But Solar Sonic probably will be missing for a couple of weeks, I think.
Right.
But there was a nice price on Rob's horse as well, so well done to him. I'm the same. I think Sir Roman returns, and he has threatened to be the next good horse in South Australia for probably 12 months now. I reckon he's just about ready.
I know we say it, but I'd love to see him around Menangle.
Yep.
Big, long, striding horse.
Yep.
And I don't want to put any wrong thoughts into our the freeloader, Chris Hartwood said.
Well, he should wake up to himself.
Why?
Send it up there.
No, it's with David. I was very impressed with its trial. Sorry,
Yeah, no, he's going really well.
we shouldn't pick on you like that, mate, because you're not, But I reckon the next dinner's on Chris. If Sir Roman wins this week, dinner's on him.
Well, it was going to be next Thursday.
It was on us, wasn't it? We're
So we just changed the rules a bit. If the Roman gets up,
Yeah.
we're off to the house of chow.
Your shout, Chris.
Good on you, Chris. Thanks, mate.
Artillery's got a share in that too, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that's my other one. I think it'll win this week and win comfortably in that race. So there's 3 to follow: Sir Roman, Artillery, and Change Up.
There's our horse to follow for the week. We've had a bit of fun. There's been plenty to cover this week. Rock, thanks for joining us. It's another week
Pleasure,
out and done.
Very good.
Done and dusted. Stick around, viewers. We'll be back this time next week. Episode 32. We're getting through them. We're cruising into Christmas. We said we get through 40 of them. We'll get there. And it's certainly been a great season 2, Rock. Plenty more to come. Plenty more rumour or humour. Leroy the Lizard.
New segments coming next week too, mate.
Yeah, I can't wait as we build into Christmas with Leroy, what he's got in store for the kids for Christmas.
I'm about to axe him.
Right.
He stays one more day past Saturday and find someone else.
Thanks for joining us, mate. See you this time next week.
See ya.